Friday, this is Thursday. I don't know what day of the week it is. From Sacktown, Sacramento, California, to Chicago, Illinois, to Mumbai, to Tokyo, and everywhere in between at any time that this meets you. This is Sportskeeda Wrestling, Rings and Rambles. I'm live with you. A lot to get into today. This show is supported by the brand new Patreon Premium Backstage Pass SK. That's patreon.com Backstage Pass SK. Go subscribe. A new Patreon that we just launched with a bunch of bonus premium content with the biggest names in the business. JBL and Jared Briscoe. What were they thinking? Bro Down. That's Vince Russo covering SmackDown. WrestleVotes with all the scoops. You know, WrestleVotes is very verifiable. So WrestleVotes is breaking everything down. A lot going on with me. I'm Kev Callum. That is one Nick Harkson over in Sacramento, California. We will cover on today's episode that developing situation with Jimmy Uso. We'll have an update on him if something's pending and breaks while we're live. If it breaks after we're live today, you may know more. And some people kind of worried and stressed out about this, but there has been some kind of water thrown on that in terms of just everybody having concerns about that. We'll talk about NXT's big move. WWE NXT is truly about to make some big moves here in the next 2 weeks or so. And some changes with WWE, the TV deals. We talk a lot about the TV deals, don't we?
We do. Yeah. But we like them.
Nick, am I sounding good here? I'm coming to you from NBC Tower. Q101, busy week. We have Riot Fest. National Wrestling Alliance got added to that. NWA Wrestling is going to
nice.
Chicago, so.
Hey, you sounded nice and crispy, Kevin.
Yeah, maybe Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins will show up since he lives here. No, they're on tour. He won't be here. I was hoping he would be here. So he would just like smash somebody with a guitar or something like that. But it'd be fun. But what do
or
you
a pumpkin, you know?
Yeah, a pumpkin. They hate that as a joke.
I know.
They hate that as a joke. They did something on MTV where they actually smashed pumpkins. And then they were on Jimmy Kimmel 2 nights ago. They were on Jimmy Kimmel. And they literally dropped a pumpkin, like as a bit to like promote that they were going to be on there. Like Jimmy Kimmel dropped it in front of him and didn't break. He's like, "This is hilarious. Don't do another take." like the band was like, "Don't do another take. This is funny that we didn't break." If you're live with us, go ahead and hit the like button. All right, guys, we're going to cover all those different things here and get your comments on screen. We'd love to hear from you guys. You guys are the third members of the show. So let's get into it. AEW's TV deal. We've been waiting forever for this. I was at AEW All Out, the press conference that was like done in like 30 minutes or whatever. And we were hoping, and we were told that it would be 90% close. There's a lot of details that are just almost finalized about this thing. But it looks pretty healthy for the wrestling business. I know many of you are going to be like, I don't like AEW, and I only like WWE because I scream at someone else in all caps on the internet, right? But
yep.
So we're going to give you the information that's good. Now, if you support pro wrestling as a genre, AEW having a TV show and a healthy TV contract is very good for the industry, Nick. How do you feel about this TV deal? We'll break down the numbers here in a minute, but like from what you've seen, what's your smell and test on this, man?
I mean, I'm just happy that it's getting done. You know, like you said, it's always good when a top wrestling promotion gets a TV deal, and it's been a long time coming. So,
and they're like, their TV deal is almost up. You know,
right?
So like,
yeah, it's like
contract is almost up. You know, I would assume that maybe if they didn't have the deal done, they would make, and they're close, they would get like a short-term extension. Okay, let's just keep going until we can finalize a bigger deal. But seems like they're going to get a big one here. All right, tip of the cap as always to Fightful, who broke the story, and Puck News, which was the major one. John Oran, of Puck, which has been breaking a lot of big like entertainment industry. If you're into like the things that are happening with like Paramount Plus, like they're going to merge with some people, right? They had a buyout, right? You want to follow this stuff. I'm intrigued by all that. And WWE and AEW are involved in that. So basically, Puck is reporting that a new media deal with AEW and Warner Brothers Discovery, their long-term partner since 2019, looks like it could be a 4-year deal. 3 years guaranteed with a 1-year option at the end. $170 million per year is apparently in the ballpark. Okay. This would have AEW airing on TNT, TBS, and True TV. They've done like, I think they've had like maybe a rerun or a special here and there on True TV. Don't quote me on that. And the goal is to make True TV more of a sports-oriented network under David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers Discovery. And the announcement could come as soon as next week, barring any last-minute changes. This means they would likely announce it at AEW Grand Slam, their big Dynamite show. It's on TV, but it's in New York City, the media capital of the world. That's where you kind of like do these things, right?
Yep.
And certainly interesting. $2 million a year is a large benchmark. One Bill Phil was talking about these numbers and different things like that. So this would put them like a really, really healthy number. People are going to say, oh, this isn't what WWE got. But yeah, they're not going to get what WWE is going to get. I think that comparison is kind of silly. But it's also worth noting that AEW is also talking to additional people about additional content outside of this deal. AEW Dark, those YouTube shows, those got put away. And that was part of making things exclusive to Warner Brothers Discovery. But there's been talk that they could potentially be doing something maybe with Fox.
Ooh.
There's a little bit of rumors there. Of course, a lot more of this deal was done with Tony Khan making a trip to Paris to meet with David Zaslav and different people. So, this offered deals, this would at least double their rights. This would double their TV rights. And this is a lengthy deal. That's a long, long time in television. And the deals have been considered amicable and ongoing. So they've been working on this for a while. What do you think? I mean, it sounds really positive across the board with everyone poo-pooing on everything AEW. Oh, here's a picture of half the house not full and all this different stuff. Content's content. You put up a decent number. Everyone's like, oh, the ratings are at this, this is still pretty healthy. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's a good contract for AEW. And, Tony Khan's got money, so he's going to put more into the product. It's going to look nice. But yeah, always good to see, like I said, just some top wrestling promotions staying on TV, not being forced out. But my only question is there anything like streaming wise, like how WWE has Peacock, all that? That's what I was hoping would come through with this deal. Maybe we'll find out more. Maybe there is going to be that. But as of right now, it sounds like it's pretty much going to be how it is already, right? So
I think that's the biggest element in terms of what's reported here that we're waiting to find out about for fans. For fans, I think you look at the deal. Okay, there's some changes. Sportskeeda Wrestling reported this as well, that Rampage looks like it could be put on the shelf and sunset, and that there is a trademark for a term called Shockwave. AEW Shockwave.
That's right.
Could be a new show. Is that the new show they could be doing with another company besides Warner Brothers Discovery? Is that a new show within Warner Brothers Discovery? Is that just a thing they do online? Is that a video game? It's not exactly clear, but some people think that's kind of the direction they're going. Now, Rampage is a weekly show they do on Friday nights for an hour, but it's not appointment television, and I don't think AEW is beyond the debut of it with CM Punk. I don't think they've made it as big a thing as it once was. The real core elements of what you follow with all your wrestling, even if you're a diehard fan of them, is Dynamite and Collision every week.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the pay-per-views are a big thing because they are pay-per-view. WWE is subscribed to a streaming service. You get it on there, right?
Yeah.
And you get it on either WWE Network internationally. Soon it's going to be all on Netflix around the world, or you do it on Peacock. And now, Warner Brothers Discovery has HBO Max. There's been like AEW All Access was on there. I understand some people in Europe got to see some past AEW shows. I heard that, but I haven't heard much of that. Again, I would want to check that with people. Don't quote me on that. And some people thought, oh, that was like a sign that maybe the TV deal had already been signed, right? But they have regional deals. Those vary. Like they're on ESPN in Australia. So the biggest thing for me is if they get the pay-per-views on HBO Max. If you have that whole Ring of Honor catalog and you tell me I pay a part of my bundle for HBO Max, I still call it HBO Max.
Yep.
And I get Hulu, I get Max, I get this, the bundling, right? You get all of that together, I think $16 a month. And you tell me there's pay-per-views on this, no extra cost. That's crazy. But I've heard other people say, well, you get Max, but you got to pay for a pay-per-view. And you have to have Max. Almost like the ESPN deal with UFC, where you have to have ESPN Plus to get a UFC pay-per-view. If they still have pay-per-view, how much do you think it's going to upset some fans? That's the only thing I think that's going to do this.
Yeah, I think that's what fans are looking for. And I think that it's definitely going to ruffle the feathers of a lot of fans. It would be a great move for them, just like you said, to use Max in a way that WWE uses Peacock. I think that, the pay-per-views do help them out. People are subscribed, people are tuning in, people are paying. I think that they all deliver, but still, we're so used to having WWE, a top company, give us that subscription based through Peacock or whatever, that I think that if they want to stay, if that, in the eyes, in the limelight, try to compete, they need to have that subscription. Wrestling fans, we've been begging for it. It's just more convenient and it will do them good. I think that it'll be a positive thing. They might lose out on some extra money from the pay-per-views, but I think viewership will go up tremendously. Yeah.
Yeah. And we've seen it with WWE. I think there's just, if you have Peacock, there's a lot of people I know. My nephew, for example, he'll watch just clips on YouTube of WWE and he'll watch the pay-per-views and that's it. He'll watch, he loves The Undertaker. He's never seen The Undertaker wrestle live on TV. You know what I mean? I was like, not even live on TV, let alone live, right? But he loves The Undertaker. So I was like, oh, that kind of makes sense. There's somebody who loves Darth Vader, but they only watch the movies and they don't have like an active, it's not like present in real time for them type thing. I was like, oh, that makes sense. So a lot of that non-linear TV watching is a bigger and bigger thing. And I think WWE understands that. Not to say that AEW doesn't, but it's also, you're the challenger brand. WWE, it's easier for people to get WWE. It's easier for people to understand. Oh, that's where Hulk Hogan was. That's where Stone Cold Steve Austin was. That's where The Rock was. AEW is completely outside of that in terms of branding. But I would say since WCW, they're the most significant brand. And this is another example of that. Tony Khan has a lot of money, financed this thing to keep it going. It's very interesting here. Manchester is red forever, says, is the last 10 years, is this the best year for WWE storylines? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's arguably one of the best, yes.
Here we go. Rich17 says, it would be nice if they had a streaming thing like WWE. I think, another thing is everyone's going to be like, oh, they're just trying to copy WWE. That's a surface level thing. This isn't copying WWE. Right. This is like meeting a standard that I think some people are just starting to have and expect. It's like, what's like some of your favorite bands that maybe don't have their songs streaming? Like there's some like really popular artists. There's some great movies that are not on streaming. Like you can't find them sometimes, right?
Very true.
So, and you'd be surprised like what those are and stuff like that. Or they go on streaming, they come off, right? So limited rights and different things like that. So I just think people have more of a demand with cord cutting and stuff like that. This is WWE is going to keep SmackDown on USA Network. So they're not going to completely get off of cable TV.
Right.
But we have some people that really want to cut cable TV. I know we have a comment here. I'm going to try and pull up this comment here. Some people saying that cable TV is too expensive. It's too much for them. But, you're also paying for internet service as well. So it's almost cable now. And the streaming service has kind of become cable to a degree, right?
Yeah. I mean, like YouTube TV, that's pretty much a cable service now, but it's
do you have YouTube TV? What's your setup? What do you got?
I have YouTube TV, but I have to pay for AT&T internet separately. But still, it ends up being a little bit cheaper than if I were to get the whole bundle of AT&T.
It's cheaper for you to do internet service with this and then do the YouTube TV with it.
Yes.
Right? You get like DVR, right? You get like a DVR with it. It's like a digital.
Yes. But it's still, it's $70 a month. Mm-hmm. So I understand it's pricey. And I can understand the frustration.
Yeah. So that's the latest on the AEW TV deal. I think it's just healthy for the industry. It's really, really healthy for the industry. Obviously, I do think there's changes they have to do to their TV to make it like more fun. I caught Dynamite this week. It was a good show. Fun. Bucks are nasty heels.
Yeah.
I think they could be bigger heels. I don't get like electric feelings from them. Like the peak of them being heels for me was the Sting thing, and I haven't felt like the mojo with them recently. But I mean, Jericho had a fun match. Jericho had a very fun match with Orange Cassidy. And people have been crapping on Jericho for a while now. I thought that was a strong outing by him to start the show. It's a good show. Everyone's getting down on him. Like, there's a lot interesting going on with the show. Bryan Danielson's story is kind of interesting of like, you're having your final matches and you're the world champion. That's an interesting way to handle it. And it's a good way to handle things. Want to hear from you guys. How many of you go to a live event? I'll go to a lot of live events. Manchester is red forever. I'm trying to figure out whether I'm going to WWE NXT with CM Punk. We'll talk about CM Punk here in a bit. Miley AJ, CM Punk rules, RULs, rules. That's the original internet spelling of it properly. And people saying, yeah, I have a YouTube TV. I love it. So they love having that. There you go.
I'm not sure if you know where SmackDown is tomorrow, Kevin.
Where's that?
It's in Sacktown.
Are you going?
Sacramento, California. Oh yeah, I'll be there.
You going?
So I'll be attending there. I'll be at the live event for Manchester is Red Forever asking who goes to live events. Be at one tomorrow. SmackDown.
You're gonna be on duty, dude. You gotta take pics.
I know.
Or it didn't happen. I mean,
yep.
The thing is, you're gonna go there. No one else is gonna be on their phone taking pictures and videos. So I mean, like, you have to do that for everyone.
Yep.
Just so you know, like, no one else is gonna be doing that.
Right. not one single person besides me.
All right. And if they want to follow you, where do they go, bud? Tell them right now. If you're bringing
follow me, yeah. So on the Twitter or X and Instagram at Nick_Harksen. That's NICK_HARKSEN. Follow me and get some live SmackDown content tomorrow.
Here we go. We will do a Q&A because I'm getting a bunch of like off-topic questions. I will do a quick Q&A. So we'll zip through kind of like main topics and we'll get to a Q&A for this here. So we will do a Q&A that is coming up. All right. So if you have questions and different stuff like this, look, this one from Jesse, we'll get to that. Okay. People asking though about Jimmy Uso. We will talk about that sooner before then. People ask about Triple H and this and who he's bringing back. We'll talk about it. We're getting into it. Mentioned this, Victor. Bro, they can't even get people to go to their live events. Yeah, AEW needs to get more people to go to their shows. But I do think they're kind of pivoting to some degree in terms of like doing residencies and smaller venues. Just get smarter. Play places you can fill. You know, the second WWE NXT show was at Big Arena Enterprise. They moved it to a place called The Factory that's a capacity of 3,000. Randy Orton's going to wrestle in front of 3,000 people.
That's crazy. That's
awesome.
Like,
and so, that's pretty cool. Like if you're at that show, it's a unique setting to see a guy that big. So get your comments on screen. Let's keep it going here. Let's talk about Jimmy Uso. What is the latest on Jimmy Uso? Things kind of got weird here. Lay the whole thing out for me here. What Rikishi, legendary WWE Hall of Famer, his father, was kind of tweeting out that got people alarmed and kind of the follow-up report about this.
Yeah, he kind of sent out a cryptic tweet, or not a tweet. It was Instagram post and pretty much, saying, pray for my son, Jimmy Uso. And it had, a little video, it was a black and white video circling around Jimmy and whatnot. And a lot of people are taking this and running with it with their own ideas. But it is, it's
the internet just trying to not be patient and get information as it's distributed, but just kind of jump in and make their own conclusions and then claim them as fact?
Yes.
I've never heard the internet do that before.
But yeah, so this is what it says word for word. Dear God, and then the praying hands, for strength and health to continue, and then hashtag Jimmy Uso, hashtag WWE, hashtag Bloodline, hashtag Anawai, hashtag Fatu. So, I don't know. Maybe he's just praying for a nice comeback soon. Maybe he's praying for a different kind of deal. Maybe, who knows? There's a lot there. That's
been out of the picture for how long now?
It's been what, 6-7 months?
Since sometime after WrestleMania.
WrestleMania,
the Bloodline in the spring.
My timeline is. Please forgive me.
Your timeline with the Bloodline is off. This is Sportskeeda Wrestling. We have entered the Bloodline, by the way, on the channel. Afa Anawahi on the channel. New episode of that is up right now. I know this is a weird time to bring that up, but I wanted to bring it up before I forget. I feel bad about plugging that right away. So the Jimmy Uso situation kind of seems scary. Here's what we know right now. He's safe. That's what we have Sean Rossett reporting that he's safe. What conclusions that people are running to this are all over the map. You can easily find them. People claiming, did he get in trouble with the law? Is he been released by WWE? He hasn't been released by WWE. As I'm talking to you today at 2 p.m. Central, noon Pacific, he's not been released by WWE.
No.
So I don't want people to rush to that conclusion. Okay. And I think it's unreasonable for people to just do that. You guys got to calm down with that. It bothers me how much wrestling fans have like rush that stuff.
Don't go running with anything until you know the facts, people. You need facts first. And I'll give you a fact. You asked how long he's been out for. Since April 12th of this year. So
So Sean Rossett reporting on X, and the following up with people in WWE. They say that they've spoken to Jimmy USO, who says he's fine. I don't have any further context beyond that. Maybe this could just be a personal situation.
Yeah.
And it's something, guess what, everybody? You're not privileged to that information.
Yeah. Maybe he's just taking a little bit of...
yes. You never know what that is. And I'm not even going to say what that is. Maybe it's a personal situation where somebody went through something hard that has nothing to do with their career. And you don't have rights to that information. That's okay. Not everyone has to live their life on the internet because you watch them on TV. But obviously people would love to see him come back. They would love to see him come back. How do you have him come back? Jimmy, be back. I'm not in a pack, says Manchester. Yeah. Garrett says, I believe Jimmy will be back for War Games. War Games. Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. So, yeah. So we'll get into the Q&A here in a minute. I want to make sure I clear out all my topics before I'm not done. Yes, I believe it's time.
Oh, we got some NXT.
We do have some NXT, but I'll start doing your questions now, though. Start dropping your questions now, just so we're ready for it. Quickly through WWE NXT, they will make the big leap. They started building up to this by setting up a big title match, an NXT Championship match. All Ego Ethan Page, formerly of AEW, formerly of TNA Impact Wrestling. Great talent. I think one of the best promos in wrestling. Will take on Trick Williams. Whoop that trick.
Whoop that trick.
And he took the title, stole it from Trick Williams. And they will have a rematch at the Allstate Arena in Chicago, October 1st. A big leap for WWE NXT, which has been basically a studio show outside of their takeover and the premium live events. They're taking the show and putting it in a very big arena.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, for knowing the situation, you can find this out yourself. They're not running the entire arena. That arena is a capacity around 18,000. They're going to run, I believe, around 9,000. Okay. So they're not using the whole arena. I don't know if the show is sold out, but it's sold well for NXT. And NXT has not been a big arena pack out business, but it's been very healthy business as a third tier brand for WWE. So the show will include CM Punk. He revealed himself to be the surprise guest referee for that title match. My hope was that he would do something physical and get in the ring, but he will. I think someone's taking a GTS. And they're building to him at Bad Blood with Drew McIntyre. So him and Drew McIntyre will fight and bloody each other coming up here at the first weekend of October. And then the following week, NXT will continue their big move to the CW, their new televised home now at the USA Network. That's why they're going to be all streaming on the first. That show will be in St. Louis, Missouri with the local hometown favorite, this guy named Randall Keith Orton will be on the show. That show is going to be in front of 3,000 people at a limited venue. 3,000, which I love WWE in these small places. That just sounds fun.
Yeah.
What do you think of NXT in this position? Does it make it more of a television show that you have to keep an eye on? At least these first few episodes you're going to want to check out, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, bringing some big time names, this is great for the talent of NXT, but yeah, they want to get more eyes on it because they are moving to, their new home. And I think it's great. I'm excited to see Randy Orton go up against some young talent and Javon Evans. So it'll be fun. I think that he deserves the chance too. Obviously, NXT sees a lot in the kid, but weren't you alluding to something earlier? Maybe CM Punk and Drew McIntyre kind of.
I think Drew McIntyre, the last time they were in Chicago, they did a SmackDown here. That's the one where Jacob Fatu debuted. And they did an angle basically where Drew wrecked Punk in Chicago. He's the most famous pro wrestler ever out of Chicago. A lot of people talk about Chicago, blah, 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 blah. But it's like beating up John Cena in Boston. That's what they did. I think he tries to do it again and he cuts him off. And they give Punk like a fun moment in Chicago to kind of ramp up to Bad Blood. Something from this show will be used to push to Bad Blood. You will not have CM Punk on TV not doing something to push to Bad Blood. That's what I think.
And that's going to be great. I mean, if Drew McIntyre does show up on NXT as well, wow.
Yeah. It'll be really, really interesting here. Want to get into your questions here. Do you believe Well, if I say his name, he shows up. I can't. I mean, I don't know if he's going to come through here. Yeah, really, dude, Joe Henry, what a ride
everywhere.
Joe Henry he's signed to TNA, is a part of the collaboration between TNA and NXT. That's another thing is I think the NXT show, by the way, is going to have some new names debut on it.
Yeah.
Motor City Machine Guns, if you want to have them come out, that'd be a fun way to do it. But Joe Henry getting an arena pop, special.
Yeah,
when he did the takeover and he came out to that music, the guy's just over. I understand why WWE NXT maybe doesn't want to put one of their titles on a TNA guy as they kind of collaborate. But it'd be cool if there was a TNA match on this. If I interviewed Dolph Ziggler and Moose, and they went off on each other before Victory Road. Great match, by the way. I got to rewatch it. It was really good for sitting between him and Moose. And, Dolph Ziggler was the, Nick Nemeth now. Was the NXT champion. He kind of alluded like, I've done it. I don't need to do it. But I like that it's happening. It's good for the business. It's good for this. I could see like a Moose doing something in NXT. I could see Jordan Grace has been doing a handful of matches. There's more people from TNA. I want to see do more stuff here. I was saying two-time. Trick Williams going to whoop that Trick era is going to begin here. And people give me the clap. I love that. There we go. Here we go. We'll get into some Bloodline questions. Fade the channel. Do you think the Bloodline 2.0 anywhere near as menacing and captivating as the original Bloodline, or does it feel like something is still missing? Well, here's the point. You're supposed to boo them. Right? Like I don't get this idea. Well, they're supposed to be this, or, I don't believe. We had this on our scripts recently. You and I talked about this, right?
Yes.
And we talked about the big essay videos you guys see on our main channel. Let more people see from Sportskeeda Wrestling. That's okay. But it's like he's not like the real tribal chief. That's the idea. The idea is he's like not the legit dude, that he's just kind of usurped the throne. They're they're not a knockoff version, but they're not the Bloodline you know and love. They're this new version. They're trying to take the mantle and steal it from the people that established it. And that's the appeal. That's the appeal of it, right? I don't know. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, you hit the nail on the head right there. They're not supposed to be, the last Bloodline. They're supposed to be this conniving group that's stealing the Bloodline, So I think that they're doing the right thing with it right now. And we're going to see it all come to fruition here. I think they get Roman Reigns involved. I think Jimmy Uso, when he comes back, like we already said, War Games, we're going to see one side versus the other side. And yes, it's supposed to be this way. It's supposed to be the way it is right now. So
Tony Frowley Sr. says, do you think Triple H, the booker of WWE, he's the booker man, will have Roman get back with the Usos? I think you mean the Usos. And Sami Zayn for the old Bloodline versus new Bloodline. We've pitched this in scripts and just like us speculating on everything. I think that's where it's going, but I don't mind that. We kind of see, but that's like November. That's a long time away. It's in wrestling speak, that's 2 months away. There's a lot of TV you have to do before you get there. A lot of things could change before you get there. But I do think that's kind of where it's going.
Me too. And did you see Jey Uso just recently said that one of his best times in his career was working with Sami Zayn in the Bloodline, and he would love to do a little tag team run with him. He did say that. But so I don't know. Maybe we do get Sami Zayn linked back up with them in some kind of way for a War Games match. It could happen. I see where Tony's going here, but yeah, I think that Jimmy coming back, like I just said, will have the Usos teaming back up with Roman at least. I don't know about Sami Zayn, but we'll see.
Isaac Moore, thoughts on Jacob Fatu?
Beast.
Absolutely. A guy who doesn't say a whole lot, but gets a lot of attention. He moves like a cat for a guy his size. I mean, like this guy's over 300 pounds, maybe, right?
Yeah, I mean,
like moves so fast for a guy his size. So I think when you have a guy that big that moves that fast, that furiously, it's interesting. The Braun Breaker appeal in terms of a guy in the ring, right? Yeah. And a lot of people think, oh, he's already a better wrestler than Solo is. He's been wrestling longer on TV. He's with MLW. Don't sleep on that stuff. I mean, he's really wrestling. This guy's been prepared for this for a long time. I would like to see him talk more on the microphone.
Yes.
That's kind of maybe the only thing I think is missing. Here we go. Some AEW questions. What are your thoughts on AEW's return of Jamie Hayter so far? Could they be doing more with her? Good question, Garrett. I mean, she got a big return in All In. I mean, to return in front of the stadium crowd that popped that big for her too. But then you have all the she's got red hair, so she looks like Becky Lynch. It's such a stupid surface level thing. The thing is, like, I get what you're doing, like, it's dollar store, Becky Lynch, wish.com, Becky Lynch. I want to take a joke that somebody else wrote and copy paste it. I don't write my thing in it.
Yeah,
memes give people the illusion that they're clever.
We don't have to compare.
I do think there could be more with her, but I mean, I think with AEW, the booking with the women is so up and down. In terms of this is good, this isn't good, this is good, this isn't good.
Yeah,
and they have two weekly TV shows. They need to, I think, feature a bigger variety of people, but also they need to hit ratings. There's a different test to them overall. So when your favorites don't get on TV, I think it's not always a shot at them. It's just, hey, what's the storyline? What do we got for them? Are they over? It's not just one thing.
Right.
Here we go. I think I already got that one question. Yes, I did. Okay.
Yep.
Boo Fatu. AC Knight wants to ask about another LA Knight. Is LA Knight hitting his ceiling now, or does he have a bigger future? Big question. Hell of a question. I would say the rest of you, this is the bar you have to strike. I'm challenging you in the chat to give me a question as compelling and as thoughtful as that. And I'm not saying that, can you confirm my fantasy booking is a bad question? We get those all the time. But this is a topic. Nick, I talk too much. I want you to take this one first.
I'm going to say no. I think he's got more to offer. I think we're going to see.
But he's 40 years old.
Yeah, it's,
Come on, you can't be 40 and be successful in wrestling. Unlike everyone.
I think we're going to see something with him and Cena.
Okay, with Cena's farewell tour, you think he'll get a piece of that?
I think he'll get a piece of it, especially if
he'll be the heel though. He'll be the heel in that situation.
I think he would gratefully take that though. I mean, if you're going to be a part of Cena's farewell tour, I mean that's big. That's big right there. But I don't think this is the ceiling for LA Knight. He says it himself. He's got a lot more years left in him, and he looks fine out there. It's not like he's getting big injuries. He keeps his body in shape. He goes to extreme.
He doesn't look his age.
No, he doesn't.
I know for a lot of fans, I don't know where am I wrong? This is probably me having my midlife crisis, right? Faith No More. It's a midlife crisis. But there's so many guys who are 35 to 45 that are still very active and very good in wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
And I see a lot of younger fans like, these old guys, get out. But who's going to take their spots, guys?
Right.
Someone's not there yet. They're not there yet. There's a reason why they re-signed Randy Orton to a deal like that. The reason why Sheamus just signed a new deal. Good on him, And everyone's saying TKO's spending some real money to keep people. And that's another topic we could have covered on today, but they kind of like quieted down. WWE's going to be getting really aggressive on those deals coming up.
Yeah.
About keeping people. Seth Rollins got re-signed. Becky Lynch not re-signed, but, on good terms, right?
Yeah.
So here we go. Rolling with another one. Any news on Alexa Bliss coming back? David Tronky. You know what? She's been on the shelf. She had a child. She went and had a baby. Congratulations to her. And, I think that changes people's perspectives. Now, she was so tied as a character to Bray Wyatt during the pandemic, and they did so much spooky stuff that I think a lot of people love Bray Wyatt, very casual wrestling fans.
Yeah.
Would love to see her. And she's kind of in that same category of fandom. I don't know.
I did see it was a few months ago, or maybe about a month and a half ago. There was a video she posted on her Instagram story of her doing her Twisted Bliss. It looks like she's trying to get back into shape. So I don't know if that was a little hint. Hey, I am
Rumble?
training.
Would you bring her back to the Rumble, or did you bring her back before then?
I think the Rumble is where you bring her back. I think that's
long
perfect.
time from now.
It is long.
No,
she's already been out though, and I think that she is busy. She's still got. I mean, her baby's a toddler. It's still tiny, so she probably wants to spend a little bit more time with it. But yeah, I think the Rumble would be the perfect time. It'd be a huge pop. A lot of people are asking about her. If they keep her out, keep her away, kind of maybe try and keep it under the rug, or maybe have people forget again that she's maybe coming back soon. I think that would be the perfect time.
Here's another great question. Love this question. Can you top this question? I challenge you to top this question. I don't know if you can. Viewer, can you top it? Don't know if you can. If you're live with us, go ahead and try and top that question with a better question. I still think the number one question right now is LA Knight. Is that our?
Yes.
AC Knight's the question to beat. We should do that if we do Q&As. What's the top one we got? Damon Schust clearing us out here. Maybe we'll take one more. Do you think AEW, All Elite Wrestling, is rushing Will Ospreay and Ricochet match way too soon? They're going to this. I understand they're going to it. They've had them interact with each other. About 8 years ago, look it up if you haven't seen it, but the clips went viral of Ricochet and Will Ospreay before Ricochet signed with WWE and had the run there, and then joined AEW and became basically the human Spider-Man in pro wrestling against Will Ospreay, who's now become the new Kenny Omega, the bout machine for All Elite Wrestling. Incredible to see him wrestle live. I've seen him wrestle live twice this year, and he's been amazing. This is the match you got to do, but are they giving it away? I think this is a fair question. Maybe, but if you do this in New York City and they do a series of them and they're really, really good and they're great every time and they can be as special as they can, I understand what you're doing, and you build to another one.
Yeah.
Right? You use a match to get to another match. Okay. The match before 8 years ago was so good. It was in Japan. I think Super Juniors. They did.
Yeah.
I don't remember who won it. I just remember it was great. Right.
Right.
So this though, I don't. And is Ricochet going to eat a pin? He just jumped over there. He doesn't. He's got to feel he's got to feel bigger than he was in WWE. Do you have him beat Will Ospreay? Has been red hot for them. It's a lot of challenges with that.
Yeah,
a lot of challenges.
I wish that they would have built it up more, but maybe in their argument on their side, maybe it's already been built up because of that match from 8 years ago and all the hype around it.
Yeah, we know about it. Like I just explained the context of it, but I still think there's a lot of fans that don't.
True.
Don't know about it.
And I think that's the thing where AEW messes up a lot. They don't cater to the casual. Know
what's going on.
Yeah. They don't cater to the casual fan. They'll bring out somebody from the indies and they'll expect everybody in the audience to know it. And if you don't know it, then you're an idiot. I don't know, but I mean,
it's a pay-per-view match. Danny calling up here with his take, saying my opinion is they should build towards full year World's End. Yeah. I agree. But I also understand TV's a bigger audience for them. More people see their show on television than see their show on pay-per-view. And that's okay. WWE's almost, I wouldn't say WWE may be 50-50 because they're a streaming service. It's a big difference here.
I just think that they could have made Ricochet look stronger before this match happens. Like have him beat some big time guys, make the match just more exciting between them two and make him a big time player. I know he already supposed to be, but have him earn his keep a little bit, to get to that spot.
Garrett Sahari, another AEW question. Will Daniel Garcia, I can't do the Daniel Garcia dance. Is it like
I can't do it either. Yeah.
Sorry. That was embarrassing. I look like a broken toy. That was like a bad Trump dance. You ever seen this is me moving
oh my goodness. Yeah.
He moves like a broken Matchbox car sometimes, man. All right. Will Daniel Garcia win a title in AEW before the year is over? He's got to sign a new deal. Don't know if he signed a new deal with the company. It's a big reason why they think he lost the All Out pay-per-view, which was a great match, by the way. I love that match, the post-match, the pile driver off the top rope. I enjoyed it. It was really, really fun. I am of the thought that if he signs a new deal, he does get to be a champion with them in some way. There's tons of belts in AEW. Throw some of those belts around, They have too many titles, right? Too many titles. What do you think? Daniel Garcia is a good guy. Did you hear this report about Triple H? In his opinion, word is getting out about what Triple H thinks of certain people in AEW because they're all looking at each other. They've already signed up. This is part of it. Sees him as like the next Bryan Danielson. Nice. Highly technical, a lot of personality. Bryan Danielson, plenty of personality. Some people say he doesn't have the riz for the biz, but he wouldn't be a world champion if he doesn't. Look at me pointing at the camera, right? But Daniel Garcia, a lot of charisma, a lot of the charisma. And I think if he wanted to go to WWE, he could be a big star there too. But I can see AEW locking down though.
There were some rumors swirling that he was going to jump ship, correct? Or is that? I mean, it's not.
Clear.
It's not. There's no
Not clear.
substance behind.
I
it.
mean, he hasn't gone on the record about whether or not he signed a new deal yet, though. Too.
Right.
So,
right. Just rumors.
Yep. I mean, but
no facts.
We haven't got an indication he's signed a new deal. So that's part of it. But I also understand AEW not wanting to put a title on him or have him win on a pay-per-view. All right, we'll have you win, but then the payoff will be, MJF beat him in the match, but the payoff, MJF's a heel. All right, you beat me up after the match. It's not the worst thing in the world.
No.
There we go. Obafemi. I'll ask this one, and we'll get to so many. Who will dethrone Obafemi as North American title? Did you see what they did with Tony D'Angelo this week?
Yes.
They had like 4 segments with Tony D'Angelo and a match. He had 3 backstage segments and a match. No Obafemi. He's been trying to beat Obafemi for the IC title of NXT, the North American Championship. Obafemi is a sensation, by the way.
Yes.
We'll talk about, like, in terms of big guys that catch your attention. Obafemi he has a bassful voice, deep guy, he only wrestled for WWE, has not wrestled anywhere else. It is quite the attraction. If you haven't seen him, he's very cool. Tony D'Angelo is the mob boss from suburban Chicago, right? This guy. He's a dad. He's got stacks. He's got everyone around him.
Forget about it.
Well, you know who forgot about him? Obafemi forgot about him. Because Obafemi can't be beaten. And they did like 3 backstage segments, and they had him do a match where he walked out and got counted out because he couldn't figure out how to win the match. They made him look like a total jabron. Right,
yeah.
Like a total jabroni, and then he cut a promo, like the 3rd segment. They kept going back to him backstage, saying like, "I can't do it.
I'm a broken man.
I can't beat him." And then they said, "No, you got to try and beat him." Okay, I think maybe Tony D'Angelo.
I think.
But I also think
right.
I don't know. I just don't know. Like that's the question. Is I don't know. What do you think, dude?
I mean, I don't know if anybody is the right guy to dethrone Obafemi, but I think that it is. I mean, Tony D'Angelo, yeah, and then maybe you bring up Obafemi to the main roster. Maybe that's the move. Take the strap off him and get him up to the main roster. But yeah, I mean, the guy's so powerful. He's so dominant right now. I'm off the top of my head. I'm not seeing anybody taken from him right now, anytime soon. Tony D'Angelo, though, the way they've been building this up, it would be a good story. He's a broken man. He can't figure out how to beat him. And then out of nowhere, he triumphs in glory and gets that North American title. But yeah, it's
I think but then like, are they going to give him this like redemption story thing? But then he cheats to get the title. That doesn't work. You know what I mean? Like that doesn't fly. That doesn't disconnect. That I'm going to be out of it there. Nick Fun saying WWE is going to lose money if they go to Netflix. No, they are not. That is a multi-billion-dollar deal. No, they are not going to lose money if they go to Netflix. They're not. No, they are not. No.
Yeah, it's going to go international. That's
yeah. By the way, for you people complaining, it's $15 a month. They have an ad-supported one that's like $7. So
yes,
not the worst thing in the world. Want to do one more question? I know you're trying to get out of here, so
we're good.
Does WWE have too many factions? Is WWE have too many factions?
I'm starting to see a lot pop up more and more.
You got Bloodline, right?
Yep.
You got LWO, which I think is kind of run its course. They can figure out. You have Judgment Day, right? Okay. Well, I'm forgetting. They have the Fusion group with the woman on Raw now.
Yes.
Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark.
Yep.
I'm probably forgetting.
Judgment or not Judgment.
Is Final Testament still a faction? Are they still a faction?
I think they are. Yep.
Is New Day a faction, or are they like more of a tag team?
I think they're more, since Big E's out of the picture. I think it's more of a tag team. But
I love the story they did there. I thought that was cool, with Kofi Kingston asking the LWO to come out and help them win the match to get the tag titles off of Judgment Day, and then they lose, and then it's like this. Because LWO got involved, and Xavier Woods is all pissed off about it. They do Xavier Woods going heel on Kofi, and they break up the New Day. This is the time.
It's happening.
This is the time. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Damage Control.
It's going to be a Big E return. If you have Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston break up, and the only thing that gets them back is Big E coming back, and he wrestles, amazing. If he comes back and he gets them to like calm down and say, "I'm never going to be able to compete with you guys again. Figure this out." That would be compelling as well. But I think Big E gets involved at some point if they keep going with Xavier and Kofi. That's what I see.
Yeah, he's going to be the peacemaker eventually, I think. But we'll see.
This is big news. This cracked earlier this week. WWE confirming a TV special on NBC on December 14th, Saturday night's main event. This will be in Long Island, New York. And this will be the venue where they did the first Saturday night's main event in 1985, which is pretty cool. I think it's a big deal. I think they got to put a big pay-per-view match on that. They're advertising Cody Rhodes. I think Cody Rhodes will defend the title on that show. Maybe John Cena pops up.
A lot of big names. Yeah.
A lot of big names.
That would be a great time for John Cena to pop up. Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Want to be crazy? The Rock.
The Rock says.
Rock, Cody, little face off. That's all you need.
Yep.
That's all.
Great way to set off Saturday Night Live.
Thank you guys. Good job. Thank you. Thank you. All right. I appreciate you. You can follow me. I am so busy this weekend. It is insane what is going on. I'm going to be on Q101. Okay. Q101 is Chicago's alternative rock radio station. A lot of really, really cool stuff. We have Riot Fest. One of the biggest rock music festivals in the world is in Chicago this weekend. So many big bands are going to be there. We are giving away tickets at our website that will be given out within the next 24 hours. Let me double check that. If you go to the website Google, are you aware of the website Google? Do you know of this website?
I think I've heard of it once or twice. Yeah.
Now, if you go to google.com and then you type in Riot Fest Q101 and go to our website, you can enter to win tickets. We will be giving those tickets, I think, out if you're listening to me today within like the next 12 hours, probably. Don't quote me on that. So that's going down. I'm going to be busy with that all weekend. I'm going to be on 93X in Minneapolis Friday and Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to be in Rockford on 104.9 The X as well. So a lot of rock radio. You can follow me on my Twitter at Kev Kellum, at Kev Kellum6 on the Instagram. Can you get me validating numbers on the internet? Sportskeeda Wrestling. If you haven't followed us on the Patreon Backstage Pass SK. Trial, $5 a month. Come on, $5 trial.
Easy.
Give it a shot.
Easy peasy.
See if you like it. Nick, how's the two-piece going, baby? How's the two-piece band going?
It's going good. We got a show coming up here in a few weeks. If you want to check out my band, we play some reggae, some hip hop. We play other things too, but yeah, it's two-piece music.
Yeah.
And yeah.
That was bad. When I went to the Sacramento. Big up.
You're good. We'll be at Loomis Basin Brewery on October 4th. Nice little outdoor venue. Great drinks, great food. Good vibes. Come check us out.
Vibes, dude. Vibes. all you have to do, is that just a way to tell people to be at something? Well, what's it like? Oh, it's vibes, man.
Dude, good. Yeah. Good vibes.
No one's articulating anything. I'm just sending you a picture on my phone of the thing I'm supposed to say. All right, we're out of here. We're doing good, dude. I think we had a fun. Productive show. If you haven't done it already, go ahead and share the link or you stink. If you're watching live or on demand, you watch this entire thing. Get into the comments, ask us your questions. I'll jump in there on YouTube specifically and answer those questions. So if you watch on demand, we're answering more questions and we're out of here.